What's up, everybody? Raccoon the What If here, and today I'm starting a new What If for my 300 sub special. Now, I did not expect to reach 300 so fast, and just a heads up, y'all will be hearing gunshots in the background. I'm sorry about that. There's really nothing I can do about it. But I'm gonna get straight into the video. Now, this video is about what if Issei Hyodo was betrayed. Now, I'm gonna make it, instead of Drake being there for him, I'm gonna do something with that too. New type of thing. So, this is around after the fight with that one guy that wanted to marry Rias. Phoenix tier dude. Forgot his name. Can't think of it right now. So, none of the other characters are there right now. So this is around a couple weeks after this has happened. So Rias has been talking with most of the Chaos Brigade. There's been Konako, Akane or something like that. And Kiba, majority of them. Her talking to them as she brings up a whole thing about Issei being a pervert and how they don't really need him if he's just gonna be majority of a pervert and less of a combat. Because in this one, Rias is more or less a total bitch about everything. She's obsessed with power. Now, unlike most people, how they have Sir Zect or Demon King Zect actually become best friends with Issei, I'm gonna say that Sir Zect doesn't like Issei at all. Because who would really like a pervert around their little sister, you know? So, as Issei walks in, and as everyone's giving him coldest stares, all of them except Konako, because that's the ship, I'm just gonna say it right now, that the ship is Konako. You're like, why not? So, we move on. There's a reason why I'm making it Konako. So, we move on to Rias walking up to Issei, and Drake hasn't been talking to Issei lately, like he usually does in his dreams and everything like that. He's been appearing less and less. So, Issei walks in as everyone gives him cold stares, as Konako's just minding her business because she doesn't have that thing for Issei at the moment. Yes, I said at the moment. So, Issei asks everyone, hey guys, what's wrong? As Rias walks up and says, we don't need you anymore. You're just a pervert. None of us can stand it. As Issei hearing this, because he still has that crush on Rias, hearing this, his heart drops. So, Issei's just at the moment mentally broken, as everyone agrees with him, as everyone agrees with Rias, and even Drake says so. Now, in this one I'm making where Issei and all the other users of the Drake have the ability to willingly give away. Damn! That was louder than I thought. It spooked me. Okay, so Issei and the other users have the ability to willingly give away Drake. But Drake has to agree to this also. And Drake has already wanted to get rid of Issei. So whenever Issei heard him do this, Issei wants to get rid of Drake. So as these two thoughts connect, Drake's gauntlet just disappears and Issei feels weaker. His whole body just shuts down. Feels like he'd lost a part of himself. Now, as Rias says that Rias says, I'm also taking my pawn pieces. You're no longer going to be a devil. You're just going to be a normal, everyday human. Because in this one, I'm not going to have it kill him. Well, not fully kill him, but not execute him all the way. So, Issei has his pawn pieces ripped out, but healed also. As now everyone's watching the expression on Issei's face. He goes from that cheerful, always happy, to a cold, stare. Now, as he leaves the Chaos Brigade, like his body makes him leave, like he wasn't thinking, his body just left. As everyone's just, they're not happy, but they're also not sad. They're neutral. They couldn't really care less. Now, Konoko's feeling a bit of pain. Like she feels like something that she cares a lot about just walked out of her life. Now, Issei and everyone inside the school starts to belittle him. Because they all know that Issei's no longer a devil and they all know he's no longer a devil, but they don't know about Drake yet. None of them do. So, I'm going to say Drake went to Big Red. And Big Red gave him the ability to go into another user. And this user being Volley, because I feel like it just making him have two dragons, even though they cannot coexist. But Issei in one of the seasons forced him to, like Kiba did with the Holy Swords. So, I'm going to say that's how it works. So, Volley has the Red Dragon Emperor as well as the White Dragon Emperor. So, Issei is being picked on at school, and whenever he comes home, Xaziel, or like something like that, I forgot his name. I don't see why I forget it every time I need to say it. Xaziel, something like that, the fallen angel guy that was like Issei's best friend. Now, he's practically the only one that hangs out with Issei because he was a pervert too, as you all know. As he also probably thought of Issei as a son. We ain't gonna get into that. So, Issei only talks to him, because that's basically the only guy he can talk to. His parents, well, I'm gonna say Issei got an apartment before all this happened, because I'm not gonna have him pay. His parents disown him. They're still gonna be with him, but they just don't know where he's at. So as Issei's in an apartment, everything like that, he's been going through rough times. Now, these rough times are practically hell for Issei. So, he's being bullied at school. He got kicked out of practically his family. His, like, almost biological family, but they're not. So, Issei begins to change emotionally, mentally, and physically. He no longer cares about things that he should. Like, he no longer cares if someone cries or someone dies. He no longer cares. He no longer cares about being the harem king. I swear to God, bro. Okay. He no longer cares about being a harem king. He no longer cares about Drake. He no longer cares about Volley. He no longer cares about the entire Chaos Brigade. So, during that fight, whenever, pretty sure it was Issei is training, but he's not doing, like, magical training, because he no longer has magic. He's a normal human. So he's kind of doing physical training. Now, over these couple of months he's been doing this, as he's being bullied, he has no more expressions. He only shows a blank face. And some people see this and they don't take much mind of it, as well as the two friends that he usually hanged out with turned their back on him. So he turned his back on everyone and closed his heart off. Like, he don't let no one close. So he's practically a loner. Now, we cut over like a couple weeks after Issei has finally completely changed entirely. He's been getting these images and pictures of this blonde hair, headphone wearing guy. Now, this guy would always ask Issei why he's so weak. Issei would always say he was betrayed, and everyone he cared about left him. Now, this would go on for several months, as Issei's body is getting more toned, but he's not getting any stronger. Now, we get to a 4-month mark. This is when a guy shows up in Issei's mind, and he stays there kind of like Drake does. So whenever Issei sees him and says, "Why are you back?" As the man, the blonde-haired man, says, "Why else would I be here? to train your stupid ass. You're so obnoxiously weak. Now, this kind of pisses Issei off because he knows that he's weak and he doesn't like to be called weak. Something like that. Now, after over a couple of weeks go by as this guy is training, well, not training, more or less converting his power into issei. Now, issei has to take his power in slowly because it's quite a lot. So he has to train his body with this dude's regiments. Now, his training regimen is absurdly destructive for the body, for the human body anyways. And this is basically like 10,000 push-ups, 10,000 sit-ups, 10,000 pull-ups, 10,000 miles a day that he has to do. Now, issei doing these for 1 week straight, he's already seen improvement, major improvement. But he's only really seen this much improvement because the blonde-haired guy that was talking to him has been converting some of his power into him. Now, this guy, as issei finally gets enough of his antics, as he finally asks who he is, and he says, "The name's issei. Don't you forget it. Or do. Doesn't matter to me." Now, as as issei says, "So you're issei, the guy that's been in my head for the longest time." So he says yes. Now, unbeknownst to issei, he is on par with the season 4 fight with the guy that went into that golden form. He is exactly the same level as him, but issei still feels weak. Now, if you don't know that where issei comes from, it's Problem Children from Another World. That's the English dub name. You should really go check it out. I would 100% recommend it. Now, Jesus Christ. Okay. Now, as you all know, that guy in the season 4, I believe, was incredibly strong. He had to take issei's Juggernaut drive to defeat, or his Crimson Red transformation to a queen. So, issei's magical power doesn't exist. It's not there. Because he's a human, he doesn't have magical power. He just has uncontrollably brute strength. He's kind of like the All Might of High School DxD. Now, over these course of months that he's been with this one guy in his head, or issei, his personality began to change. He's been getting that snarky, cocky personality, as well as that non-caring personality as well. Like, if it's not his fight, he ain't gonna start it. But if it is his fight, he's gonna finish it. So, now, issei has finally begun to go to these areas where mythical creatures, where issei told him to go, because issei died of old age. Just to let y'all know, issei died of old age, because, I mean, like, I can't make this dude immortal, because I doubt they finished the series yet, but I don't know. So that's the best I can give you, is him being old and dying from old age for the reincarnation process. Now, as issei gives Deku to these tasks of defeating these gods, the first one he had to do was the Water Serpent. Of course, that was the first one issei did. Now, issei defeated him with one punch, while issei defeated him with a flick. Because issei has gotten way stronger over the course that he was in that world. Because that was the first creature he defeated, was the Water Serpent. Now, issei is proud of issei because he feels like a teacher-student relationship there. Now, as during this time, the Chaos Brigade were seeing a different person, because issei didn't know that his body was changing entirely, but it was slowly changing. Like, it was issei, you could easily tell it was issei, but his eyes went from that brown to a light purple. His hair went from brown to a blonde. And his whole physique changed as well. Because unlike this one, how he's like not toned at all, this one he's like really toned. I wouldn't say like really overpoweredly toned, but I mean like toned in a way, like Saitama type tone. That tone. That's the best way I can describe it. So, issei and the Chaos Brigade, seeing this, are questioning whether or not he's a devil, a fallen angel, or still a dragon. Now, issei is neither or. They don't know this. Now, this is around the time Sir Zex, Lord Michael, and the Chaos Brigade all meet up. Forgot the Darkness Dragon, the one that likes to live in the void. Forgot her name. But as they all meet up, and Irina and the one girl, forgot her name, the blue hair one, like that stripe in her hair, that girl are there, as they're Michael's archangels. Wouldn't make them archangels, but like apprentices that he's training to become archangels. Now, as whenever they get there, Lord Michael discussed things about how Issei's with the Chaos Brigade, and that's where Sir Zex stops him and says he is no longer with us. My little sister kicked him out. Now, Issei hearing this, not Issei, but Lord Michael, as well as I must call her the Black Dragon Emperor, I forgot the name of that dragon, are shocked because the anger that could be caused by this is Lord Michael's like, why would you kick out someone so strong, Lord Zex? As Lord Zex says, I don't know. Probably because he was a pervert. Now, Lord Michael understanding this, as well as the Black Chaos Dragon, let me just call it the Black Chaos Dragon, or the Chaos Dragon, yeah. We call it the Chaos Dragon. As she's understanding this, but she would never have kicked out a Dragon Emperor. Especially the Red Dragon Emperor. The one who stole the principle of domination from God. So, we look at the Chaos Brigade. Everyone's there. And this is way before Irina and the blue hair girl joined the thing. So, none of this has happened other than the fight with that Phoenix guy. And the fight with Volley, which Issei still won and converted like half the power into it. But Issei took more damage than he should have because of that, because Drake wasn't on his side and Drake didn't believe in him like he did in canon. So Issei had to do that by himself, which shocked Drake, as well as the White Dragon Emperor, because you shouldn't have been able to do that in the first place. So, give me a minute. Oh, and Happy New Year's, by the way. Just gotta throw that in there. So, as the Chaos Brigade have all noticed Issei's drastic changes. They've noticed that he's less of caregiving. He's careless. Let me just put it that way. He's careless. He doesn't care about school or anything. He's mainly bored. Because everything he's fought, even the mythical creatures, like being krakens, certain other creatures, all of them have been easily one-shotted by him. As Xaziel finally offers to fight offers to fight Issei, because he knows about the mythical creatures and how Issei is just easily destroying them and how bored Issei is getting. As he challenged Issei to a fight, and as soon as the fight started, Issei just disappeared and appeared and reappeared in front of Xaziel and flicked him, which knocked him clean out. Now, a couple minutes go by as Xaziel wakes up and he asks what happened. Issei says, well, I ended you like the rest of the mythical creatures. One flick. And Xaziel's shocked because As you know, he has like 6 wings. Was it 6 wings or was it 8 wings? One of those two. So he's a high-ranking fallen angel. Now, Asya was also there, and she didn't really care because she knows how perverted Issei is. Even though he saved both Rias and Asya on 2 different occasions. Now, Akane didn't fall in love with Issei for plot. So, we have Issei now. As Issei is really, really bored, as he decides to go to the underworld and challenge the strongest guy there to a fight. Now, as he gets down there, well, as he forcibly gets down there, by pretty much destroying the ground. I'm gonna say you can break your way to hell, but it's like gonna take a really long time. But for Issei, he just punched a big crater straight into the ground, connecting straight to hell as he just jumped down. And he did this in a very desolate place where like nobody is. So whenever he got down there, as he looks around, he noticed that he's by the one dragon that he had to train underneath in canon. As I forgot the name of that dragon, but I know it's a dragon, so he says, "Yo, dragon!" As the dragon turns around and says, "A mortal human. How did you get here?" And as he said, "I broke my way through here, dumbass." It just pisses the dragon off. Because it's the amount of disrespect to a dragon. A superior being. Or creature, as you may call it. As the dragon challenges Issei to a fight, Issei very, very happily accepts. As they go into combat, Issei's just dodging and weaving every single hit. And the dragon is getting tired because this has been going on for quite a while. As there's been some people sitting there recording it as it's going all over the Devil media. As it just shows, well, it's going live on devil.com stuff. I don't know, I'm not going to make a website up for High School DxD. As it's going crazy, there's hundreds of millions of views of just Issei dodging and weaving this dragon. And when it finally gets to the end, it just shows Issei putting up a finger and catching the dragon's punch. As he just motions his finger forward as it sends the dragon flying. This dragon hits a wall and is completely knocked out. And if you don't know anything about Issei, he is extremely overpowered. So I'm making Issei extremely overpowered. Now, Issei is like seriously everyone noticed an expression on Issei's face. He was smiling whenever he was dodging away, but whenever he beat the dragon with one punch, he showed more of a angered expression. Now, this catches the attention of the one guy with no magical power but immense strength. As he wants to find Issei. And that not being very hard since Issei just set up a tournament that he wants to do. Where they all they have a whole bunch of people fight, and the winner fights Issei. Now, the Chaos Brigade see this as Rias, Akane, Kiba, and Asya all see this, and they laugh at it because they think that Issei is stupid because he's weak. Well, Asya still has that kind of personality, but she's more realistic now with her thoughts. And Kiba's just a dickhead now. Now, as a lot of, thousands of people try out for it, as matches go the same way, well, not same way, but matches all go and lead to one guy winning majority of all of his matches, and this being a duo team. Well, not a duo, but like a team of 2 people that fuse together into one, kind of like a Gogeta. Of course, this being my bad. And of course, this being let me go back over here. Of course, this being the one guy with the golden thing. So, issei walks up to him and grabs his hand as he says, "Finally, someone that I can relate to in strength." Not really, but still. As the guy says, "Yeah, I've been waiting for a good fight. What was your name again?" As issei says, "Issei Hyodo." As he says, "Well, let's have a good match." Issei says, that's not going to be a good match. It's going to be a fun match that I'm going to win." As issei does have that cockiness, as issei does. And so whenever the fight starts, issei is just bobbing and weaving as he throws a couple punches, but these not being full power punches, these be like 10% punches, as they do serious damage to him, like causing him to bleed a lot. Kind of like it was towards the end of the fight in Season 4. Kind of like that amount of damage. As Sir Zect, Lord Michael, as well as the Chaos Dragon girl are all watching, as they are in shock because this is the strongest guy in the Devil King, well, in hell, pretty much, as he's even stronger than Sir Zect, I'm pretty sure. So as he finally goes into the form after having his partner tell him that they need to go into it, and this one he didn't argue, he just said, "Yes, it appears so." As he goes into the form, as he says, "Now we should be on equal footing," and this being a total complete lie, as the fight ensues, as issei is just letting him hit him, as issei's acting as if he's being beaten, and like a couple minutes go by as issei's just laying on the ground, as the guy declares himself the winner, as issei stands up and says, "Who are you calling the winner? A fight isn't over when a victor is decided. It's whenever someone loses." And if you don't get where that reference comes from, it comes from whenever he fought the water serpent. So, as issei just stands up and comes barely in and punches him with a 50% punch. And this punch being enough to completely destroy the golden armor he had around him and knocking him out in one hit. As whenever issei was getting his ass beat, which whenever the Chaos Brigade was watching, they were surprised that issei was able to bring him into a form like this, but they weren't surprised that he was being beaten. Now, whenever issei stood up and did this, they were all shocked. Now Rias is starting to regret her decision, as well as Kiba, Asya, and Konako and Akane. But Konako is regretting the fact that she let someone so important, because she realized after issei was gone, she'd grown to like him and have his company around him. But now that he was gone, she felt lonely. Now, Casper hasn't been awakened yet, or unsealed, if you may. So we're not going to bring him into it until like next part, or like part 3. So as issei did this, and he says, "What? Are you serious? That's all he had? I swear I can't get a good competition around here anywhere." As everyone hearing this is shocked, as they've heard the rumors about a blonde-haired person killing off all of the mythical animals, as well as destroying the dragon that trains people, and now they see this person in human eye. Well, not human eye, but devil eye, if you mind. And they're astonished to see that this is a real person. Now, issei's nickname in the devil world is the Cocky Blonde. I'm just going to call him the Cocky Blonde because I feel like it. So, issei is bored out of his mind for like the next 3 days. And during these next 3 days, Rias has been trying to track him down. And Konako has tracked him down. And she plans on visiting him. And whenever that day comes, issei is like really, really bored. Now, there's a reason why I'm making this a Konako ship. If you don't know, I doubt it's going to be a canon ship, but it's one of the characters in there that have the ability to, like, pretty much she hangs around a cat all the time. And she has the ability to talk to animals. So I'm making her pretty much the reincarnation, Konako the reincarnation of that girl. But we're not going to get into that. So, as Konako arrives, and she knocks on the door, as Issei opens up the door without his shirt on and his headphones on. And Konako, seeing his body, blushes a bit, but not a lot, as Issei just shuts the door. And this shocks Konako, because she knew that Issei's personality changed, but not that much. So, as Issei just shut the door, as Konako knocks on the door and says, Issei, just so you know, I really didn't want to kick you out of the Chaos Brigade. I didn't have a choice in the matter, though. Issei, hearing this, says, you didn't have a choice, huh? So why'd you nod in agreement whenever they called me a pervert? She said, because you were a pervert. Issei says, fair point. Touché. But then, why did you agree to them kicking me out? She says, I didn't. I just didn't respond to anything. And I didn't know how important you were to me. Issei, hearing her say how important he was to her, he questions, while talking to the door, what do you mean I'm important to you? As she goes on to explain that ever since he left, she's felt lonely and she's afraid because she's always had Issei there to protect her in a way. So Issei is now opens the door and he goes to go put a shirt on, which he does after opening the door. As he motions for Konako to come inside, as she does. Now, this is around the time this is around the time the attack with all the mages come in. Now, Issei has already been proclaimed the strongest in the world, in both angels and both demons, because he's already went toe-to-toe with Michael, and he beat Michael very, very easily. And so Michael gave Issei permission to pray. Well, he doesn't need permission, but he gave Issei permission to use divine light. But Issei's never going to do so, because why would he need to use a power used for killing devils when he can easily kill them himself? So, during this time, as Konako has been talking to Issei for like an hour and a half, as they hear a knock on the door, as Issei goes and gets it, he opens the door and he sees Rias Grimmery as well as Kiba, Asya. I think that's about it. And Akane. As he sees all of them, and he says, what the hell do you want, Grimmery? This is shocking Rias, because he's always called Rias Grimmery by Rias. I haven't watched High School DxD in quite a while. So, as he says this, Rias is shocked. She says, we want you to come back. Issei just smiles and says, you want me to come back to you when you betrayed me? Not only that, after I saved your ass? Honestly, how dumb can you get, Rias? This shocking Rias even more, considering how he's never talked to her or spoken to her in such a way. As she starts to get angry, saying that, she saved his life. And Issei says, you saved my life? All you do is make my suffering worse. You turned me into a devil. All because you wanted to use me for power, but yet you call that saving my life. As Issei starts to get angry, as his eyes begin to glow a dark purple, As I said, they're a light purple. Whenever he gets really angry, they become dark purple. Konako seeing this, she hugs swear to God, bro. She hugs Issei. Issei calms down a bit as the Chaos Brigade shock scene, not Issei, but Konako in that apartment, as well as seeing her show emotion towards Issei. Now, Ria says, Konako, what are you doing here? Konako said, I'm here to visit Issei. What else would I be doing here? And Ria says, you're not allowed to visit him. And Konako says, why not? She says, because you're my brigade. I'm the one that tells you what you can and cannot do. Now, Issei hearing this, he's getting pissed, as he just slams the door in Rias' face. As they begin to walk in, as the door just explodes. And Deku is I swear to God, bro. As Issei is extremely pissed about this, he says, hey, that's my fucking door. He flicks his finger towards Rias, as this sends a gust of air in a controlled form, hitting her straight into the gut, causing her to spit up a ton of blood. As then Issei now says, now leave, Grimoires, as well as your little Chaos Brigade. As they grab Rias, because all of them know that Rias was the strongest one there. Well, they thought that because they didn't really watch all of the fight. Well, they didn't watch all of the fight. They didn't watch the dragon fight. All they mainly watched was a brute force battle with the one guy. Forgot his name. So, Issei never used any type of magic, so they think he's hiding his true potential. So they want to use that true potential for their own gain. Now, as they all leave, well, the KS Brigade, well, some of them, well, majority of them leave. It's Konako and Issei. As Issei's apartment is the average apartment, but it has a really, really beautiful view of a beach. Plot sake. So Issei looks at Konako and says, so, you planning on leaving the Chaos Brigade? As Konako says, no, I don't. Well, then Issei says, well, you're going to end up being kicked out anyway. As Konako says, what? No. Rias won't do that. As he says, oh, she won't, so why'd she kick me out, huh? As this makes Konako think, as Konako now believes exactly what Issei is saying. So she starts to ask Issei questions about whether or not how good this place is to live in. Things like that. If you can tell where I'm going with this good. If you can't, that's tough. As she's asking Issei if it's comfortable here. Issei just saying, yeah, it's pretty comfortable, but it's also boring as all hell. Because Issei has like that sand mentality. He loves to fight. Fighting is basically his livelihood. So as we move on to a few days later, as there's a knock at Issei's door, as he opens it, and it's Konako with like several bags. As Issei asks, Konako, what is this? And she asks if she can live here with Deku for a couple days until she finds her own place. As Deku, now, I swear to God, man. As Issei is just saying, it's fine, whatever. As he just walks off. As Konako brings her things inside. As Issei gets over to his balcony, as he gets on the edge of it, he just does like a backwards dive. As Konako runs over to try and catch him, as she misses. As she looks down off the balcony, because they're like several floors up. As she looks down, she just sees Issei landing in like a hero landing, Deadpool, and is just walking away. As she's surprised, but she's not amazed. She's surprised because she kind of saw this coming. So Issei just goes to the store, and on his way there, he sees a couple of kids bullying this one person. And of course, this person being Irina, the future angel. Yes, I'm going to make this a harem because why not? Why not? Now, that whole part when Lord Michael came down after that fight with, what's his name again? The White Dragon Emperor? Volley, yeah, Volley. After the fight with Volley and everything, he came down, things like that. And this is when Asya asked for permission to pray, as Lord Michael already knows who all betrayed Issei, as he says, you're not allowed to pray if you are a devil, and if you do such things as those. As he says, as Asya is confused, and he elaborates saying, the betraying of a friend. As Asya gets the picture and is sad that she can no longer pray, but she doesn't really care the fact that she betrayed someone. Yeah, so in this one, Asya is not that saint. So we're going to cut back over to Issei, as Issei's seeing these, like, several guys pick on her, as he picks up a small rock, she throws it, and it causes a sonic boom. And since Irina is a angel, I believe, or someone that's collecting those swords, the holy swords, for, like, missions and things like that, she's not blown away because she has some strength, as Issei completely obliterated the humans. He killed them. As Irina is, like, angry about this because she is an angel. As Issei says, I helped you, didn't I? She says, if it meant killing those people, I'd rather you just left me there. Issei says, oh, say so next time then. As he begins walking, and now Irina is interested in him. As she asked for his name, he says, Issei Hyodo. And he begins walking away. Now Irina, remembering a Issei Hyodo. And of course, this being the kid she hung out with whenever she was a child, or this man. So she runs after Issei. She tackles him, giving him a hug. As Issei's like, yo, what the fuck? What is your problem? As she says, what do you mean, Issei? It's me, Irina. Issei begins to remember, and he says, oh, it's you. She said, that's it? He says, yeah. What else did you expect? I expected you to miss me or something. And Issei just flat out says, oh, I kind of forgot about you. He smacks him in the face. He's really doing nothing. And she doesn't know about the news and everything about that in hell and heaven, on whether and how strong this person is, truly. So she keeps smacking him as he's doing absolutely nothing. As he says, like, okay, stop, god damn it, it's getting aggravating. So she stops, and she asks, Issei, I thought your hair was brown and your eyes. What happened? Yeah, so as I was saying, she asked what happened to Issei, as Issei goes to explain how he was betrayed by a couple of devils that were supposedly his friends, and he also says that he has one staying at his house right now because she didn't really betray him. She was kind of forced into the decision, as she's angry as her hate for devils grows even more. But Issei tells her not to hate the devil that's at his house because she's really nice. So, as Issei starts walking home with Irina, as they finally get to his house and everything goes as planned, she meets Konako. She hugs Konako and starts thanking her for not betraying her childhood best friend. As Konako is a tad bit jealous because Issei brought home another girl. Now, as you know, Irina and that blue-haired girl, well, the blue-haired girl was with them, but she didn't really make an appearance until they got there, as she finally shows up, and as they both ask for food, and as they give them food, as they explain their names. I forgot, it's like Xenia, something like that with an X in her name. I don't know how to pronounce it. But the blue-haired girl, I'm going to call her blue-haired girl, as Irina and the blue-haired girl both thank them, as they ask if they can stay the night there, as Issei says, yes. As Issei sleeps on the couch, Now, throughout the entire night, Konako gets up from out of the bed with the two other girls. She goes in there and lays on top of Issei. Now, I'm gonna leave it off here, and I probably won't be posting for tomorrow either because I'm planning on going on a trip with my family. So, just a heads up. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.